Have you ever looked up from your phone and realized an hour disappeared? That's not harmless. That's not a coincidence. That's a thief. And the worst part is, you didn't even hear him break in. Distraction isn't just a bad habit, it's a spiritual weapon. And most men and women don't even know they're under attack. Distraction is anything that pulls your attention, energy, and focus away from what matters most. It doesn't have to be harmful or sinful. It doesn't even have to be bad. Working out, your job, your family, even eating healthy, all good things. But if not managed properly, even those can become distractions. If they consume your time to the point where God gets pushed to the side, or you avoid the deeper work you're called to do, it's still distraction. Distraction interrupts momentum, it kills efficiency and consistency, justifies procrastination, numbs discomfort, and blocks clarity. You might not be doing anything wrong, but you're also not starting that business, fixing that habit, or facing that fear. Why? Because distraction makes us delay and feel safe. Distraction is the new comfort zone, and it will keep you stuck there until your calling rots from neglect. If you're a believer, this hits even harder because distraction isn't just a productivity problem, it's a spiritual one. Let's look at what Scripture says and why it matters. John 10:10 says, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and to destroy. I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly." Just to be clear, Jesus said that. This is the foundation of the fight. Jesus didn't come just to forgive you. He came to give you an abundant life. But there's a thief working overtime to rob you of it. And his favorite tool is distraction. He doesn't need to destroy you with fire, just dull you with comfort until you forget who you are. 1 Peter 5:8 says, "Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour." You can't stay watchful if your mind is buried in distraction. You can't be alert if you're constantly sedated by content and comfort. Even good things can drag you under. The cares of life, comfort, entertainment. We think we're winding down, but spiritually we're dozing off. Hebrews 12:1-2 says, "Let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith." This verse makes a clear distinction. Some things aren't sinful, they're just heavy. They slow us down. But that's what distraction does. It weighs you down so quietly you don't even realize you've stopped running. The enemy doesn't have to destroy you if he can just distract you long enough for you to self-destruct. And here's the irony. The title, Fighting the Silence, actually means something deeper than you might think. Because not all silence is bad. There's a silence that torments you, isolation, numbness, loneliness, and then there's a silence that heals you, stillness in God's presence, quiet that brings clarity. I personally hate being still. I'll admit that. I feel like I have to be doing something, checking, scrolling, moving, and I realized that wasn't just habit. That was warfare. The moment things go quiet, we reach for distraction. But that silence, that's where the healing starts. And if we're always distracted, we'll never be still enough to grow, create, or hear from the one who made us. It's not just personal. This culture is built to keep you addicted to noise. Let's talk about what's really going on with your brain. We like to think distraction is just a part of modern life. But that's not the full story. Distraction today is designed, engineered, and monetized. And it's rewiring our brains. This isn't just habit, it's addiction. Let me show you what I mean. In 2004, the average human attention span was about 2.5 minutes. Today, it's 47 seconds. Gen Z averages around 8 seconds. And it's not because people got dumber. It's because we've been conditioned by constant stimulation. A Harvard study found that people spend nearly 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing. That means nearly half your life is spent disconnected from the present moment. Infants have been observed swiping in their sleep after too much screen time. Why? Because parents are handing them tablets just to keep them quiet. This isn't about blaming parents. This is a cultural alarm bell. And we're all being wired. Every ping, every scroll, and like is a hit of dopamine. It triggers the same neurochemical loop as gambling or drugs. And once you're pulled out of focus, it takes the average person 23 minutes to fully refocus. And we're not just losing focus. We're being trained to fear silence. We used to sit in a room and think. Now we scroll to escape. We used to process pain, but now we suppress it with algorithms. We're not lazy. We're overstimulated and undernourished. But the dopamine addiction isn't the only thing we've lost. Distraction has killed something else. Connection. When I was a kid, people used to talk in waiting rooms, in doctor's offices and places like that. Real conversations. You'd find out someone was kin to a friend of your dad's or went to school with your cousin. Waiting rooms felt like a front porch, not a phone booth. Now, my dad, blind, who was hurt in an accident on his job, once asked my mom in a doctor's office, "Is anyone even here?" And she said, "Yeah, but it's dead silent. Everyone's on their phones." We live in a world more connected than any other time in history, yet we're also more isolated than any other time in history. I've gone out with my wife and her friends, and even then, people are buried in their phones. I've caught myself doing it too. I'm not pointing a finger. I'm pointing a finger at myself. I try to stop it when I realize I'm doing it. But that's how deep this runs. And it's not just adults. As teenagers, we used to hang out at the Tastee-Freez, Walmart parking lots, someone's backyard. Now you don't see that. Everyone's home, online, alone. We used to hang out, talk, be present. Now we hide behind screens in public. There's a meme that says, you knew where the kids were when you saw the pile of bikes in the yard. Or another one that says, parents used to drag their kids inside. Now they have to drag them outside. That's not nostalgia. That's a warning. So how do we push back? How do we get that stillness back? The kind that heals instead of numbs and destroys. We learn to be still with purpose. If distraction is how the enemy steals from us, then stillness is how we fight back. Stillness isn't weakness. It's not laziness. It's war. And it only works when it has purpose. Stillness with purpose is about putting down the noise long enough to hear from God, remember who you are, face what you've been avoiding, heal, and reconnect. Psalms 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." That's not a suggestion. It's a command. Stillness is how you get to know Him. And when you know Him, you remember who you are and who He created you to be. So, let me leave you with something real. Don't try to sit down in silence for 30 minutes tomorrow. Don't even try for 10 minutes. Start with 5 minutes. Put your phone across the room, face down, no noise, put it on silent. Sit still, on purpose. Talk to God. Say something like this: God, I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I need you. And then read one short passage. Whether it's Psalms 23, John 15, even just one verse. And ask God, God, what are you trying to show me? What do you want to show me today? That's 5 minutes of war against distraction. That's how a relationship with God starts. Not with perfection, but with presence. And if you're tired of fighting this war alone, I've started a GroupMe community called Forged in Fire. It's not some perfect church group. It's just real people walking through real life. A place for community and showing up for each other, especially if you're hurting, struggling, or just feeling stuck. The link's going to be in the description. And if you're ready, we're here. And I know that I was just talking about being on your phone, but we still need community even if we're around the world. And we need connection. So, you've heard the truth. You've seen the tactics. Now it's your move. The war is real. And it's time to fight it 5 minutes at a time.